Well, let's go to Britain and David Maddox, the political editor of the Express Online. Now, you can keep up to date by reading David at express.co.uk, and I must say, he writes splendidly. David, there's plenty happening. Back to Boris. Now, this fellow Steve Baker is a long-time critic of Boris Johnson. He's called for him to resign, but he's also now a candidate in the forthcoming elections for the 1922 committee in a fortnight. 18 officers and executives to be elected by 213 backbench Tory MPs and 51 parliamentary private secretaries. What clout, David, does this MP Steve Baker have?
He's an interesting character, actually. He used to be an ally of Boris's. He was one of the ones who persuaded Boris to go and support Brexit all the way back in 2016. And he was quite a senior person in the organisation called Vote Leave, which was responsible for that. But in recent years, the two have fallen out badly. You could be cynical and say it's because Steve Baker didn't get a job in the cabinet as a minister, but he also has ambitions for the leadership himself. He was a big critic on the lockdown policy. He thought we should have been unlocking much earlier. So in that sense, Steve was definitely on the side of the angels as far as I was concerned.
But David,
now, you know, now he's weighing in on Partygate and tax as well. So
I just got to say to you, if that 1922 committee election results in a majority of backbenchers being elected who want Boris Johnson gone, is there talk that they'll change the rules and allow for another challenge when the existing rules prevent a further challenge within 12 months?
Exactly, and that's precisely the point. Normally, the 1922 committee is something that nobody would care about at all. They wouldn't bother about at all. It's just a kind of administrative, behind the scene, we call it the men in grey coats sort of committee. And but the whole point of this is that they want Boris out. The only way they can change the rules to get him out quickly is to take control of this committee, which they're going to try and do next week. And the important thing here is that they're all terrified that Boris, in an attempt to save his premiership, is going to call an early election in September. So they want the ability to have a vote on him before he does that.
But I think Johnson's allies, I must say, are right when they say that changing the rules would permanently destabilise the Conservatives. In other words, any leader could then be subject to a no-confidence vote in his or her leadership whenever the 1922 committee so decide. How do you read that, David?
I see a lot of merit in that argument. And, you know, there's a reason that the 12-month rule was in place. But on the other hand, these are fairly exceptional circumstances. We're in an extremely destabilised leadership situation with the Conservative Party at the moment. If he was in a stronger position, if he was able to exert his authority, this wouldn't even be a question and there wouldn't be any votes. So, you know, it's I could see the argument both ways, but this is the problem we're in.
He said at the G7 summit in Germany on Monday that the question about the leadership was resolved. I mean, he is a survivor. Just yes or no. Do you think he can survive?
Yes, I do, because as you say, he's a survivor. He's one of these people. He's like a. I wouldn't call him a villain because, but he's like one of these movie villains who, you know, every time you think they're dead, he just gets up, brushes himself off, and he's back again. You know,
That's right.